Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm putting up a little question and answer video that I filmed about a month and a half ago. So you'll hear some references to a trip that I've already taken, things like that, but I hope you enjoy the question and answer. A lot of questions over a whole range of different videos. So we thought that we would just come on and do a Q&A and answer some. So here's what we want to do. We want to develop this channel so that it's informative for you, so that it's fun for you. The tagline that we came up with is living and working artfully, which is, I think, how we all kind of want to live. I paint here in my studio. We did a studio video that has, I wouldn't say it's gone viral yet, but man, there's over 60,000 views. You guys really like to know how an artist works and where they work. And the channel, we're going to be covering my studio, paintings. You're going to see some more professional videos done by Kay, but she can't be here all the time. So sometimes you're just going to get me and my phone videotaping. And Kay, it's so funny, the comments that some of the videos get. And I'll share a few because it's hilarious. And I think we're going to be covering the garden because that's an art form that I really love. We're going to show you some gardening videos and we're going to show you what I do. Yeah, we're just going to kind of cover, like I said, living and working artfully. So, okay, all that said, that's a little introduction. Like and subscribe, although I haven't answered any questions yet, so you don't know if you want to subscribe, but I hope you want to. Like and subscribe. My voice is a little scratchy today. Have no idea why, but here we go. So I get a lot of questions about my process, and I paint my canvases red. Kay, could you possibly hand me one of those small 12 by 12s in red? I paint my canvases red. The color I use is cadmium red hue. So I get the 12 by 12, I paint it red. The whole reason I do that is simply to get rid of the scary white. And it's cadmium red hue, that's the paint that I use. Then I chalk in my image simply with chalkboard chalk. And then I ink in the image. So the first question is always, what is the color? Cadmium red hue by Winsor Newton. Second question that I get a lot is, where do I get my canvases? So I used to use a company in Hamilton, and then I discovered that if Michael's has a really good sale, I will use Michael's. So if it's 2 for 1 or 3 for 1, I will buy their level 3 artist brand. I like it. Sometimes I have a bit of issue with warping, but that is not very common. And that's usually on the very, very, very big canvases. But I use a company called Decor a lot. And it's a company out of, I think, Quebec. And they ship to me. It's great. I buy enough that I'm part of what's called their Artist Zone program. So I do get a discount. So just so you know, if you're an artist and you're buying a lot of canvases and supplies, Decair's does have a minimum that if you order in a year and you get there, you do get to be part of their Artist Zone. All right. Somebody asked if I gesso my canvases. No, I buy them already gessoed. I don't go in and add a gesso. Some people do. Some people like to buy raw canvas. Not me. I like to just get started. So I buy them already gessoed. Another question I get, which I found was interesting, is where do I print my reference photos? So number one, let's talk about reference photos. I take a lot of reference photos. I am the worst one on a hike. I am always behind everybody, taking a million photos, capturing the light on that tree, things like that. Then I print in my home studio on my color printer, or I go, my printer Dawn, where at 905 Print in Hamilton, I will ask him to print off in a larger format, 11 by 17 or something. I will ask him to do cheap prints there. Or you can just go to Staples. You can upload it all on the Staples website. Very, very easy. Local printer, they'll do that for you. Another burning question is always about my palettes. So I use two different palettes. The first palette that I've used for years and years is something called Mijello, Mijello. It's made in Korea. It is wonderful. It seals. This paint in here has been in here for, it is Wednesday now. This paint has been in here since last week, since last Thursday or Friday. The lid has a rubber lining, I guess, I don't even know what that's called, a little rubber thing that when it hits the plastic of the base, it seals it really, really well. Like this paint, I don't want to put my fingers in it, but this paint is fresh, it's ready to use, it's great. Now, if I was going away for a few more days, I might throw this in the freezer. Acrylic paint can get frozen and unfrozen many times. I do it all the time. I might throw it in the fridge just to slow down any drying. But this, I gave a really good clean the other day, got out paint and everything from all around, and it is sealing beautifully. So that is an absolutely great palette to use. The other palette I use is a Stay Wet palette by Masterson. Just as you imagine you'd spell that. And it is a big tray. It comes with a foam that you soak and a very special paper. This paper is so strong. It is so strong. I can use this paper over and over again. I could wash it off. It'll be all stained with color, but I could wash it off. I can flip it over. You can use this over and over. So what you do is you wet the foam. You put it in the bottom. The first time I used this, I did not follow instructions, but the second time, and since I did, use as hot a water as you can and soak this for about 15 minutes. So this needs to be primed in a way. And then you put it on top of the foam. The foam keeps it all moist. You put your paint on. The lid seals it. It is marvelous. The thing that I find with this one is that sometimes if I've put too much water in it, it might thin my paints a little bit. So then I have to either add more or let it air dry just a little bit. Some people have said when I talk about this that it smells. When I'm using my palette, I am using all my paint generally in a session, so I don't tend to get that smell because I'm not keeping it here for weeks at a time. But you could put a little bit of bleach in there, you could put some hydrogen peroxide, something like that, but I find I wash it all the time, so it works pretty great. Now, a few tips that people have given. Someone once said to me that they have an old Pyrex, a 13 by 9 cake pan that has, I don't know, have you ever seen those, Kay? With the, like, just the rubber lids to take a cake somewhere. And they do buy the paper from Masterson, but that they've used an old sweater as the foam.
Sweater.
And it works. So they've cut it and they've used it. So there are ways to do it. You could try whatever you've got in your kitchen. We could do cooking art. So there you go. There's the answer to the palettes. The next question I get a lot is about my French cleat system, which is in my studio on my wall. So if you go to the video Steel Ideas for your studio, you'll see the French cleat wall. We'll link that video down in the bottom. Somebody asked, where do I buy that? I don't know if you can buy it. Maybe somewhere somebody makes it, but a handyman, somebody that's okay with carpentry, you don't need fine carpentry skills with this, can put that together. Your best friend is to Google it. Google French cleat system for artists and you will be able to find it. So what my husband did was created the French cleat wall. I kind of gave him the custom measurements. I put the strips about 12 inches apart, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my wall. I'm looking at it right now in my studio. And then my husband just cut for me the cleat that I attached to the back of a canvas. And I simply screw it in here, onto the back of the canvas, and then hang it on the cleat. So your best friend, again, is going to be Google. Just Google French cleat system for artists. Mine's custom made. Somebody asked me a really interesting question, which is going to create a story about, will I show people my sketchbook? Interestingly, I have never kept a sketchbook. Some artists have sketchbook after sketchbook after sketchbook, and I always felt a little intimidated about that because I just didn't keep a sketchbook. I never kept. I had to keep one through college because it was required, but I'm not and never have been an artist that is always drawing and always sketching. Now, that said, I am always thinking. I am always seeing. I am always capturing with my brain an image and using my camera. So I think my sketchbook would be my photos. And then I don't sketch. So if somebody said, show me your sketchbook, I'd be like, I don't have one. And I've tried buying them. I've tried doing them. I just don't do one. So I think my sketchbook is all in my brain, which causes, chaos up there. But there's the answer for that one. Another question I got, which I thought was quite fun, was where do I keep all my canvases that I am prepping or that I have prepped and waiting, or where do I store all the paintings that I do? Because if you watched the how to steal ideas or steal ideas for your studio, you'll see that I have a very small studio space. It's only 11 by 20. I keep my canvases, we prime them in the garage. I have a spot in my house where I line them up. And then in my living room, I have a little formal living room that we hardly ever use. I stack all the paintings that I have ready to go to galleries. But my answer really is I store them in galleries across the country. So I ship them out and I store them there where they're for sale. So various parts of the property. My husband's garage, which annoys him sometimes. The back room of the house, no big deal. And the paintings are sitting in the living room. And that's where I kind of get them ready to go to the galleries that they each have to go to. Those are some of the wonderful questions that we got on some of the YouTube videos that we've put up already. Now, I know we're just starting and I don't have a whole lot of videos yet, but please like and subscribe as we grow this channel. And this is an opportunity under this one. If you have any question for me at all, this would be the place to put it. Put it in the comments, and then we can use those to film our next question and answer, which we're hoping to be monthly. I'm very excited to bring the channel to you, the question and answer. The next few weeks, I'm going to be in Wales. I don't know how much long form content I'm going to have for you, but I'm going to do some things. Interestingly, I am going to bring a sketchbook because I'm going to do some little watercolor paintings. So I'm bringing a watercolor sketchbook. I'm going to be doing those. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. See you in the next one.